But the idea is, as we create this mandala, we make ourselves more susceptible to the sudden emergence of what in our tradition is referred to as tamalgishepa, or ordinary cognition. Ordinary mind is the mind of non-duality that is pointed at in our tradition. Yesterday, after Diane's big mind process, when we were sitting, and we were sitting in a very still and uncontrived manner, and in the midst of that, there came pot! And the idea there is that what's happening is that the Guru principle is beginning to suddenly activate something which is intrinsically awake in you. One image that's given for it is that if you could imagine that my hand is the witness, and this Vajra is the various objects and appearances that we witness and make then some relationship to. At the level of gross embodiment, the relationship we make to the object is like this. The level of ego, it's like this. At the level of soul, according to the tradition, it's like this. The causal level, it gets more like this. When the witness self-liberates and the non-dual begins to become in the territory, then it's said that the mind is like that. It turns, it self-liberates, the witnessing self-liberates, and the object is completely let go. The purpose of this syllable, it's two syllables together, pat, is to help the practitioner let go of any reference point whatsoever. It's said in the tradition that you all have had this experience many times. It's said that the experience of ordinary mind, ordinary cognition, tamalgishepa, big mind, ordinary mind, occurs whenever you have an abrupt discontinuity within your egoic experience. Car accident is a very good example. Most of you probably have been in one. In that moment, time seems to change, shape and dimension. And there is a very interesting phenomena that occurs. Everything becomes much more vivid, much more present. And in a certain way, sometimes it's experienced as a relief. Other situations where you encounter accident can bring about the same experience. Similarly, it's said in the tradition that the moment of orgasm is another moment where in your natural experience, this experience of ordinary mind is naturally available to you. If you actually pay attention to what's going on right at the moment of orgasm, if you're able to, in a sense, surrender any intentionality that's going on internally, either to make something happen or to not make something happen, or to perform or not perform. But if you just pay attention to the simple experiential dimension of what's going on, it's said that the uncontrived, non-dual mind is available. The other time that it's said to be available is at the moment of death. It's said that the process of the subtle winds or subtle energies dissolving produces an experience within the human consciousness whereby this true nature of mind, this true nature of mind and phenomena is very available. And the fourth situation that's pointed out as being the place where we can recognize this non-dual mind is within our practice, within our meditation practice. The problem with accident, orgasm, and death in an untrained mind, according to the tradition, is that because the gradual methods have not been practiced, because one has not created space around one's egoic identification, one's soul-based identification, one's causal identification, one's identification as the witness, what's said is that we miss it. We constantly are missing that which we always already are. We're constantly speeding past it. We're constantly out of sync with it. So again, the image that's used, and with this analogy, you have to visualize that these are multicolored napkins. They're supposed to be the colors of the kayas, but white is good. The idea with our Mahamudra path is that, we, if you can remember your chart, we dismantle the karmic obscuration slowly. We then begin to dismantle the emotional obscurations. We then get to the cognitive obscurations. We begin to take those away. And then finally, we reveal the true nature of mind. Right? That's the linear description of the path. Right? But then what the Mahamudra path actually recommends and suggests is that you do both simultaneously. And the way we start is that basically, as a result of your relationship with the teacher, the lineage, and your own integrity as a human being, we start by just simply taking all the veils away, getting a glimpse, and then acknowledging that these veils come back, so that we're dismantling one by one. At the same time, we're constantly doing that. And that's, in essence, the way in which this particular contemplative tradition recommends combining the gradual and sudden approaches. Now, whether you choose to pursue this path or you work with another path, or you choose just to work with the integral framework, in my experience, this approach is really the only one that works. As Ken put it today, we must have both extreme humility and pride together. Humility and pride together. Pride, to understand that our fundamental nature is free from concept. It's free from manipulation. It doesn't even care what we think about it. It's going to be there whether we want it to be there or not. It's intrinsically beyond our manipulation. It's intrinsically beyond any opinion we may form about it. Trungpa Rinpoche termed it as basic goodness. It exists as a fundamental connection to the world, whether we want it or not. It's there. At the same time, we do our damnedest to not recognize it. We exert ourselves so intimately in the process of this masquerade, dressing ourselves up in all of these different realms of embodiment, dressing ourselves up as the ego, dressing ourselves up as the soul, dressing ourselves up as space itself, according to the tradition. When in fact, our basic nature is always there, calling to us.